and let us all do we can to build a better future.
It's going to be hilarious. And vote blue no matter who. All the people carrying water for the Democratic establishment. I cannot wait to see you guys do the mental gymnastics. And once again, give an excuse for this. Because, hey, folks, look, check this out. As Biden is once again investing more into war, U.S. preparing another $2 billion in arms for Ukraine. So the Pentagon is set to unveil another $2 billion in military aid for Ukraine. So I never want to hear from Democratic or Republican lawmakers or sycophants saying, oh, we can't do Medicare for all or student debt forgiveness or investing into our infrastructure. It just costs too much. Hoping to bolster the country's air defense as Kyiv launches its much-touted counteroffensive against Russian forces. That big old counteroffensive. All right. Okay. The announcement is likely to come later this week, the outlet said on Thursday, citing unnamed U.S. officials. The arms will be provided under Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, the USAIA, or USAI, or whatever, which has furnished billions of dollars in American weapons to Kiev since the fighting erupted with Moscow last year. The new aid package will include two types of Patriot missiles, the Patriot Advanced Capability Missile 3 and the Guidance Enhanced Missile, produced by our good friends at Raytheon. The latter munitions are said to provide improved ability to defeat tactical ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, or enemy aircraft in complement with the PAC-3 missile, according to U.S. weapons maker. Washington will also probably send the MIM-23 Hawk surface-to-air missile launchers, an aging system whose first variant entered service in the good old 1960s. Officials initially said the platform would be provided last November, but noted they would require refurbishing and repairs using funds from the USAI project. Again, as the latest military system comes as Kiev staged several major attacks against Russian forces over the past few days. Officials in Kiev, however, insist that the actual counteroffensive operation is yet to come. So they're waiting. They're waiting. They're kicking the can down the road, with the head of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council arguing, when we start the counteroffensive, everyone will know about it. They will see it. It'll happen when it happens. But again, another article from RT just to trigger the vote blue no matter who crowd, because I like to get them upset. Biden's reputation hinges on Kiev's counteroffensive. I know. Biden needs a victory. Badly. Bigly. Washington's future military support for Ukraine and President Joe Biden's reputation depend largely on the outcome of Kiev's counteroffensive against Russian forces. The White House is anxiously watching Kiev's attempts to retake Russian territories, the U.S. outlet reported on Thursday. If the counteroffensive succeeds, Ukraine will be able to count on additional, get this, more additional military and economic assistance from the U.S. and its allies. But if it fails, Western support may dry up, with Kiev facing calls to find a swift diplomatic resolution to the conflict, the report said. Hey, let's have democracy in the chat. Do you think the American people will ever get an aid package and economic relief? Type 1 for yes, Kit. Our politicians will never abandon us. Our politicians will never ignore us. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party care for the American people. And we're going to get ourselves a nice big aid package and everything will be great. Type 2 for I don't know how I'm going to make it past tomorrow. Are politicians caring about that? Us? Well, why would they ever care about us? They've abandoned us before. So 5 U.S. officials who spoke to Politico on the condition of being anonymous acknowledged that they weren't sure if lawmakers would vote for more aid for President Vladimir Zelensky's government when funds approved last year are depleted. Don't worry, they probably will. The military-industrial complex needs to be fed. House Republicans may use any setbacks to derail the Democrats' efforts to boost military aid to the armed forces of Ukraine, they pointed out. How did we get here? Republicans now being stopping war and the Democrats all on it? How did this happen? According to the outlet, Washington has been increasingly unhappy about Ukrainian attacks inside Russia, such as the attempted drone strike on the Kremlin in early May. Like, what could possibly go wrong? Somebody pushing that shiny red button that says nuke on it? Maybe. And the assassinations of military blogger Vladimir Tatarsky and journalist Daria Dujuna. Those moves by Kiev have led to several private, stern admonishments. Sorry about that. Admonishments in diplomatic back channels, it added. Political uncertainty in the U.S. and developments on the ground in Ukraine are among mounting concerns that could sully Biden's hope for a triumphant return to the world stage at the NATO summit in Vilnius in July, the official stressed. The gathering in the Lithuanian capital will be a key moment for the American leader, who will face questions about U.S. security guarantees for Kiev, the deliveries of F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine, and its potential membership in NATO. Oh no. Oh no, what's happening? Is everything falling apart? And the answer is yes, yes it is. Yes it is. During his again, it was the meeting with the British Prime Minister. Biden expressed his belief that the administration will have the funding necessary to support Ukraine as long as it takes, and that this support will be real, very, very real. Earlier that day, senior U.S. officials told CNN that the AFU had suffered significant casualties in its unsuccessful attempts to mount a counteroffensive against the Russian forces over the past week. Kiev's troops have been met with greater than expected resistance when trying to break through Russian lines. Oh my goodness. And look at this. According to the kill count, which is terrible, by the way, this, again, to quote Donald Trump, I want people to stop dying. Again, Trump being more reasonable than Nikki Haley. Ukraine lost about 5,000 soldiers and 100 tanks in combat since Sunday. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to make a controversial statement here, but is it too much to ask for peace? Is it the bridge too far? And I think the answer is yes. Apparently, according to the military-industrial complex, it is too much. Because here's another thing that's happening that people don't talk about. Hey, Biden, vote blue no matter who. You got some problems. Saudi Crown Prince threatened to damage U.S. economy. So Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman privately threatened to harm the American economy after President Joe Biden warned Saudi Arabia of consequences for agreeing an oil production cut with Russia, the Washington Post has reported, citing leaked material. Wherever these leakers are they going to be ever held accountable for the Espionage Act? Probably not. The Biden administration had said it would reevaluate relations with the kingdom following a discussion by Riyadh to slash crude production against the wishes of the U.S. The Crown Prince, who is widely referred to as MBS, warned that he would not deal with the U.S. administration anymore if Biden penalized Saudi Arabia. And you know what Donald Trump's going to do? He's going to say, I promise I'm going to do a huge deal. It's going to be great again. We have a nice relationship. That's what, again, this is political ammunition for Trump to use. But hey, if you thought gas was expensive just a few months ago, or gas being expensive now, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. By the way, how are prices in your town where you live in the United States? Type 3 for Kit. Gas prices are affordable and nice. They're great. Type 4 of, dude, it's been so long. I don't even know what a normal price looks like. I'm afraid I might have to bike to work now. The threat was contained in a classified document that was leaked on a Discord server. Discord. Oh, love you, Discord. But it was probably not clear whether the remark was part of intercepted communications or a message sent privately to the U.S. Biden has made his dissatisfaction, again, with Saudi Arabia, clear last October after the OPEC Plus group of major oil producers, including Russia, agreed to cut production by 2 million barrels a day. Washington was working to punish Moscow with its sanctions on its oil trade over the conflict in Ukraine. So what I want to say again is this is what happens when you build your infrastructure over-reliant on fossil fuels. And again, this is why we have to look at alternative energy like solar, wind, and yes, I'm going to be controversial, nuclear power. Why not? Why not? So yes, if you thought Biden's approval rating was going to the toilet then, you haven't seen nothing yet. It's going to get progressively worse.